On The Young and the Restless, Kyle is playing a dangerous game with Audra, and he doesn't know how deep he is. How will Victor, and more importantly, Claire, react if Kyle cheats? Kyle has chosen to go to the south of France based on his belief that he can flirt his little butt off with Audra and find out intel on her and her company, Vibrante. Quiet Kyle is so out of his depth here on The Young and the Restless, and slowly but surely, we can see that Audra, just being a woman and one that Kyle finds attractive, is enough to have him lower his guard, thinking there is no threat. What Kike doesn't know is that Victor is backing Audra, and they have an arrangement, one that involves her getting Kyle to cheat on Claire. Audra has agreed to make Kyle cheat. The young abbot thinks he's in control, but nothing could be further from the truth. If he cheats, he owes Victor a serious sum of money, and he has to leave town. He's even signed an agreement to say that. Meanwhile, Claire is getting cozy with Holden back in Genoa City, Holden being on his own mission, but for Cain. Can Kyle remain faithful, or is he doomed already? Fans and viewers have been on the Soap Central message boards discussing how Claire and Victor will react if Kyle falls foul of Audra's charms. Board user SweetPD7 wrote, "What is Victor's reaction going to be if he turns out right about Kyle? He is going to be insufferable and pompous, telling everyone he knew Kyle would break Claire's heart. Then Claire will find out about Victor's plot to break her and Kyle up, using Audra. Even if Kyle hurts and angers her by his likely betrayal of Audra, she will be furious at the lengths Victor took. Claire will forgive Victor in time, but I hope she goes radio silent on him and freezes him out of her life. Cole died and Kyle likely cheated, and Victor plotted against Kyle and her. Claire has every right to freak out. I can't wait." Valued contributor Lulubelle commented, "Oh yes, indeed. I really don't want Claire to go through all this, but she has to see the truth about Victor. And yes, Victor will be walking around flapping his wings like a big old peacock saying, 'Told you so, told you so.' Ugh, that's going to be hard to watch." However, here's my theory. When Claire finds out about Victor's plot, her dark side might be aimed at Grandpa. When she finds out Kyle has to leave town, and that he did this whole contract thing because he actually loved her, she might forgive Kyle. And I wonder if Kyle actually sleeps with Audra. Remember Victor said Audra just has to show that Kyle is weak, so a makeout session with Audra might be enough to get the job done, and that's a little more forgivable than sleeping with Audra. The wild card is Holden. Is he using Claire Bew because she's on the list that Cain gave him, or will he start to care about her and not want to hurt her? I hope it's the later because she doesn't need that on her plate, and it would be nice just to have them be friends. I hope she freaks out on Victor. Bring it. Might. I feel like Kyle won't cheat, but it will look like he did. And when Claire finds out thanks to Victor, she will turn to Holden. Sarah O in BC, valued contributor Zenmaster, Maeve. I also hope you are right. It did look like Kyle and Audra were going there when he was in her room, yet again having drinks. But that doesn't mean they slept together. Audra will do whatever she needs to do to make it appear that she and Kyle slept together, even though they didn't. So I can't wait to see if Kyle really goes there with Audra and risk losing Claire, and if he honors that contract he so foolishly signed. Signing that contract and even making that original deal was beyond foolish of Kyle, and just shows how much he is a boy playing games with men who don't play. Time will tell, although for some, time is of the essence, and for one, time's up. Stay tuned, soap fans, as things get even more weird at the estate of Aristotle Dumas, and The Young and the Restless always has more surprises in store. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, Pulse Canvas. It's me, Julie here. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Keep watching. So let's dive into today's video. Young and Restless is set to embark on a murder mystery, with Genoa City's Detective Chance Chancellor heading up the investigation despite the fact that he'd have no jurisdiction in Nice, France. But soaps are gonna soaps, so we not only need to prepare ourselves to suspend disbelief a tad, but also for someone to die, and for someone to be implicated in the killing. So who done it? Keep reading. Having gathered as much intel as possible from various Young and Restless previews, all signs point to Damien dying and a knife being involved. Cain, of course, would zoom to the top of the suspect list, given he'd just fired the man for planning to spy on him and is jealous of his involvement with his ex-wife, Lily. That said, it would be a little obvious for Cain to kill Damien and expect to get away with it under the circumstances. After all, he did lure him, along with the others, to the remote estate in Nice with murky motives. No, if he really wanted Damien dead, he'd at least get someone to do his dirty work for him. That's where our suspect comes into play. We all know Amanda is working closely with Cain, but she's highly unlikely to agree to take out anyone on his behalf, even if they are connected to Devon's family. The only other associate we're aware of is Cain's creepy assistant Carter, about whom we know virtually nothing. Thankfully, during a recent interview with Michael Fairman TV, Carter's portrayer, Vincent Stalba, provided some very telling insight into his character. After referring to Carter as cold, menacing, robotic, very polished and professional, Stalba teased, "Carter is very loyal, and he will do anything for his boss. So whatever he needs done, Carter will make sure it gets done." This would be an innocuous observation, if not for the fact that someone is about to be murdered, which then makes this level of devotion downright chilling. Might Carter take care of Damien as part of an elaborate plan put in place by Cain? Or perhaps Carter will simply take it upon himself to take out Damien, believing he's doing his boss a big favor. Either way, God, do you think Carter will kill Damien? Vote! Damien had a knife thrown at his back on Y&R. The Young and the Restless episode for July 14th featured an eventful and intense day in the maze as emotions ran high, dangerous secrets were teased, and a shocking attack left everyone reeling. Here's a look at what unfolded. Damien and Lily walked through the maze, their chemistry undeniable as they flirted. As they grabbed drinks, they crossed paths with Cain and Amanda. The tension between them became immediately clear, and Cain bluntly asked if Lily and Damien were a couple now. Lily confirmed it, which did not sit well with Cain. Despite his discontent, Cain offered his best wishes for their happiness, but assured Lily he wouldn't bring up his feelings for her again. Later, Cain pulled Damien aside for a private conversation. They walked through the maze, discussing their past. Cain revealed he'd decided to pursue redemption rather than revenge. Damien shared his deep regret about not having more time with his father, and Cain revealed how much he missed his own dad. Their talk grew more serious as Damien opened up about the pain of seeing his mother sick, and Cain reflected on how a sick parent can change your perspective. But the conversation took a darker turn when Damien started feeling woozy from the drink Cain had poured him. Cain noticed something was wrong. A figure lurked behind a hedge, holding a dagger. Before Cain could react, the figure hurled the weapon, striking Damien in the back. Cain rushed to Damien's side, trying to help him. But it was too late. Damien collapsed in Cain's arms, leaving everyone stunned and uncertain about who had just attempted murder. Phyllis appeared on the scene, witnessing the aftermath of the violent act. Meanwhile, Lily and Amanda had a conversation about Cain. As they walked the maze, Amanda tried to push Lily for details about Cain's intentions, but Lily wasn't ready to share anything just yet. Amanda, however, was concerned that Cain might be using people for his own gain, and she wanted to know what part she had been promised in the Empire. Back in the maze, Phyllis ran into Billy, who expressed his frustration with Cain's hold over the group. Billy and Phyllis exchanged jabs about their past, with Phyllis taunting him over his inability to get a meeting with Cain. The conversation turned to business, with Phyllis alluding to private discussions she'd had with Cain that Billy had no access to. But when Nick and Sharon walked in, Billy couldn't help but tell them that Phyllis had all the inside information on Cain. Later, Phyllis found herself at the center of a tense moment when she was grilled by Nick and Sharon. They warned her that if Cain went down, so would she. Phyllis wasn't concerned. She had a job offer from Cain. Nick grew increasingly frustrated as he wandered through the maze. He voiced his suspicions to Lily, further building the rift between them. As they continued to discuss Cain, the air was thick with unspoken truths and mistrust. Their conversation ended with Nick storming off to the bar. Jack and Diane also got sick of the maze. They wanted to leave. Who will chance arrest? The Young and the Restless, spoilers for Tuesday, July 15th, promise a dramatic climax to the frolics in France. As Lily gets a shock, Nick figures out an escape, and Chance finally justifies his purpose. It hasn't been a fun time on the continent for Lily. First, she found out her ex-husband was a secretive billionaire. Then, Cane got in Damien's face as they squabbled over Lily, who wasn't feeling it from either of them. Now, there's a third unpleasant surprise to make it clear this has been the vacation from hell, and there really and truly is no place like home. If only they were allowed to return there. Ever since Adam snuck into Cain's compound and snuck back out, Nick has been itching to prove he's as clever and as physically fit as his little brother. So if Adam can play hero and get a "good job, son" from Victor, then little Nicky wants one too. He can also climb down a hill. Watch me, Daddy, watch me. Will he manage to escape and get everybody else out too? Or will he end up getting them all into even more of a pickle? Cain brought Chance to France because he predicted someone would try to kill him. Did Chance mention that he has no jurisdiction outside of Genoa City? Wisconsin? The United States of America? Cain doesn't care about that. He wants law enforcement on his side. And now that a crime has finally been committed, Chance finally has a reason for his high-end imprisonment. But will he do what his host says or investigate on his own? And will anybody care about what he finds? The answer might surprise you. It's Cain's world, and everything just lives in it. Or so it seems. Cain is acting like everything revolves around him on The Young and the Restless. He returned to turn everyone's worlds upside down. But the ultimate fight is between Cain and Victor. Who will win? Fans are already placing their bets. Are you on Team Victor or Team Cain? That's the burning question on fans' minds. There's no doubt in our minds that Cain wants to take down the Newman family. He's gained a lot more confidence ever since he became a billionaire. He would have to go up against the ultimate gangster. On the soap opera message boards, one fan asked, "Team Victor or Team Cain? I want both to succeed. I love Cain, but I want him to take only Chancellor from Victor, not all other properties." Of course, fans chose sides and had a lot to say. Most are enjoying this new side to Cain. "I'm Team Cain. It's time for a new big dog in town," one user wrote. "It seems to me that Cain will get Chancellor permanently, and maybe Newman Enterprises temporarily," one fan explained. They also had a message for the naysayers. As much as some people dislike Cain, he isn't going anywhere anytime soon. In fact, Cain got a lot of support. One fan commented, "Team Cain. I want him to only take the Chancellor. Victor needs to be taken down a peg or two." Seems like most fans are fed up with Victor winning every battle. However, there are some who are hoping that their favorite patriarch beats Cain at his game. Team Victor. If Cain wanted Chancellor, he would have reached out to Jill. Chancellor is privately owned, and he has no chance of owning it, another user explained. Team Victor. Cain is wrong in trying to take over those family-owned companies. He has a very dangerous vendetta planned, and I hope it will explode in his face. He doesn't need any of those companies. He is just out for revenge for what I don't know, one last fan wrote. Is it goodbye for Damien? Damien might have already met his demise. On the Monday, July 14th episode of The Young and the Restless, a mysterious, gloved individual knifed him in the back. But that's not the only surprising thing that happened. It seemed like someone had poisoned Damien's drink. This man never had a chance, especially when it came to Lily. We finally just found out how Lily really felt about Damien. She admitted that she's been dying to meet him as soon as they met. This was unbeknownst to us because she looked irritated with him. After all, the man came on too strong. There was also the whole issue about Damien lying about his identity. Still, Lily gave him a chance. Their romance just started on the show, and it looks like it could be coming to an end. Damien seemed a little woozy after having a drink with Cain. He was so lightheaded that he had to sit down. Did someone taint the liquor? Cain claimed he wasn't feeling well either. He advised Damien to sit down. Then, he said that Damien should probably take it easy. But it was too late. A gloved individual came up behind Damien and flung a knife into his back. This has fans wondering what's really going on. It's hard to trust Cain as it is. He could be staging a murder to make it look as if someone is after him, but he could also be the one who's out for blood. After all, Cain didn't like seeing Lily kiss Damien. He planned to have their happy little family back together, as if nothing had happened in the past 6 years. Poor Damien. He never really had a chance. He was hoping to find out what it would be like to fall in love for the first time, but Cane would have been in the way regardless. Now, we'll never know if Damien was the right man for Lily. What are your thoughts? Do you think Damien is dead? What are your thoughts on his blossoming romance with Lily? Share your thoughts below in the comments section. We'd like to see what you're thinking. The Young and the Restless spoilers and updates reveal Eric Braden has enjoyed a successful career as a soap opera star, portraying Victor Newman on Y&R for many years. Yet, he recently revealed that he sometimes faces criticism for his profession. This revelation occurred during a discussion with several other well-known soap opera actors. Braden was first offered the part of Victor Newman on Y&R in 1980, and this role was originally intended to last just a few months. However, he became popular enough for his time on the show to be extended, and since then, fans have continued to see Braden on the soap over the years. The role has also earned him a Soap Opera Digest Award, a People's Choice Award, and a Daytime Emmy Award. Additionally, Braden has worked on various projects throughout the years. In 1997, he notably portrayed John Jacob Astor IV in the hit film Titanic. However, the actor has faced challenges as well. Recently, Braden discussed the stigma of working in daytime television during an appearance on the new podcast series, Soapy. This CBS podcast features two other soap stars. They are Rebecca Budig, recognized for her roles in All My Children, General Hospital, and The Bold and the Beautiful. The other co-host is Greg Rickhart, known for his performances in The Young and the Restless and Days of Our Lives. During their chat, Rickhart mentioned that many soap actors view the genre as a training ground before transitioning to other acting opportunities. Although he disagreed with the notion that soap roles are not professional, Braden replied, stating, "You better be prepared." However, Braden felt he ultimately had the last laugh over those soap actors who believe that acting in soaps isn't professional. Rickhart pointed out that Braden was a supporter of soaps, and he then inquired if Braden faced any judgment from others for his profession. Braden responded, "Oh, they all do. I recall colleagues I used to work with, especially in primetime when we meet. We usually say, 'So what's up? What's new with you?' I mentioned, 'I'm doing a soap.' He claimed that these co-stars would often respond with comments like, 'What? Oh, huh.' Nevertheless, the actor known for Victor Newman joked that he had the last laugh. He remarked, 'They're all dead, or they've disappeared, or they haven't worked in years. I'm still going strong.' Rickhart expressed his admiration, stating, 'Any of them would be fortunate to have your career.' Braden added, 'I love it. So it's a foolish bias, rooted in complete ignorance.' The Young and the Restless spoilers and updates tease that Jordan might disrupt Cole Howard's memorial if the series seizes the ideal chance for a comeback. With Cole now gone, Victoria Newman and Claire Newman are facing some tough decisions regarding the arrangements, especially since most of their family is still overseas. Alongside the decision regarding Cole's urn, there was discussion about Claire potentially reciting the same poem that Cole had at her memorial as an infant. If the service were to take place now, attendance would be quite low, so the intention is to delay it until the Newman family is back from France. Currently, Y&R is concentrating on the chaos in Nice, but there's still a possibility for Cole to have a memorial when the moment is appropriate. Should the service be featured on screen, it could serve as a fantastic opportunity to introduce some excitement. Up to this point, several fans have expressed dissatisfaction with Cole's death, lacking significant dramatic impact. If you plan to eliminate a character, it's essential to ensure it's truly impactful. Imagine the surprise of blowing up Cole's memorial service with a shocking twist. What if this is the moment Jordan decides to make a grand return? Jordan has always had a knack for survival, so perhaps she has a few more lives left. Even though Jordan was believed to have perished from poison at the tack house, this is a soap opera where anything is possible. It's conceivable that Jordan could have been secretly brought back to life if that was indeed a dramatic ruse. Just picture the shock on Claire, Victoria, and all the other attendees at Cole's memorial. If Jordan were to show up unannounced, total chaos could ensue if Jordan reappears and seeks revenge once more. Alternatively, Jordan might choose to remain hidden, playing mind games with Claire. She could potentially haunt Claire, leaving behind hints of her return from the dead. It's possible that Jordan will attempt to drive Claire to her breaking point, taking a stealthy route to her revenge until the moment is right to show herself. In any case, The Young and the Restless spoilers indicate that surprises may be on the horizon at Cole's memorial, so keep an eye out for any shocking developments ahead. Puzzling games are turning sinister on The Young and the Restless as Cain's guests face unexpected danger. The atmosphere at Dumas Cain's French estate is both heavy with distrust and dark with counterplans. The upcoming week of July 14th, 2025, will find the Genoa City residents scrambling to save themselves as the police guest looks for clues to a crime. The previous week on The Young and the Restless found Nick asking Phyllis to stay alert to Cain's plans. While he did not know that Phyllis committed herself to her wily host, Nick cautioned her to stick to the people she knew. However, when she claimed to know her path, Nick was stern with his warnings. Meanwhile, Adam trekked up the mountain to reach his father and inform him about the new real estate buyouts happening in town. While Nick shared that Cain was Dumas, Adam informed them about the unknown company named Arabesque that was buying up all available spaces around their companies. On the other hand, Kyle and Audra convinced Cain to invest in their idea, while the latter found their interaction more than professional. Meanwhile, Victoria and Claire handled their grief without their loved ones nearby. Elsewhere, Mariah and Tessa permanently separated on the long-running CBS daily soap, as Mariah recalled killing someone. At the same time, Danny proposed marriage to Christine, who happily accepted. As The Young and the Restless fans know, Cain had his eyes on Lily and Damien since the time they arrived at the Dumas estate. On Thursday's episode, dated July 10th, 2025, Cain was furious on witnessing Lily kissing Damien. He held on to his wedding band around his neck. The upcoming week will find Cain inviting Damien to share a conversation over drinks. Since Damien knows about Cain's past with Lily, he may joke about Cain trying to poison him to get to Lily. Since they will pour out the drink from the same source, Cain will assure him that they are drinking the same thing. Poisoning the drink will harm Cain too. However, halfway through their discussion, Damien Cain will likely pass out. The soap's spoilers show a mysterious person looking at Damien as he faints. While Victor has been gunning to beat Cain in his game, The Young and the Restless viewers know Nikki is desperate to leave the place. As such, Nick will want to help his mother and Sharon leave Cain's hospitality. While he will plan and try to execute his escape scheme, things may not fall into place. The soap's spoilers suggest Nick will uncover an unsettling incident. While Phyllis Summers will catch him distraught and ask what he saw, he may be too disturbed to share any information. Whether Nick witnesses a death at the estate remains to be seen. On the other hand, Sharon will likely want to help with Nick's exit strategy. She may take proactive efforts to help Nick escape. However, with a new twist hinting at a crime within the premises, escape may not be an option anytime soon. As The Young and the Restless spoilers suggest, Aristotle Dumas, aka Cain, is likely to summon Chance Chancellor to the estate to investigate a crime. The cop will arrive at the estate to find half of the Genoa City residents cooped up in the maze. As of now, it is not clear what the actual crime will be. It may be a case of poisoning if Damien's passing out is any hint. On the other hand, Cain may also be the target in the long run since he is surrounded by enemies who want to bring him down. However, Chance, the fastidious policeman, will go about his routine detection work. As he will investigate and interrogate, Lily may have valuable intel for him. While Chance will face some dilemmas as he tries to be honest in his work, the crime may have far-reaching consequences. In the upcoming episode of the CBS soap opera, The Young and the Restless, airing on July 15th, 2025, after the shocking stabbing of Damien Cain, emotions are running high. Chance Chancellor starts a serious investigation, and everyone who was there is now a possible suspect in the crime. Tuesday's episode focuses on the emotional fallout after Damien's death. Lily Winters is heartbroken and trying to make sense of what happened. Phyllis Summers faces a tough choice after seeing Cain Ashby with Damien's injured body. At the same time, Nick Newman becomes more desperate to find a way out before things get even worse. After spending months trying to rebuild her personal life on The Young and the Restless, Lily was finally starting to explore something new with Damien. Their relationship may have been fledgling, but it gave her hope for a fresh start. However, that hope is brutally crushed when she finds out Damien has died. Even though they haven't been together long, the loss hits her hard. Things get even more painful when she starts to wonder if Cain had something to do with it, especially because of their complicated past. Lily may now question how far Cain will go to get rid of someone standing in his way. Phyllis on The Young and the Restless has always known how to look out for herself, often bending the truth when it helps her. But seeing Cain holding Damien's bleeding body may be more than she can handle. Cain may say he didn't do it, but what she witnessed looks really bad. Now, Phyllis has to decide whether to help Cain or stay out of it. When Chance starts questioning everyone, she may lie or change the story. Whatever she decides, it can lead to serious consequences and test her loyalty like never before. With Phyllis witnessing more than she should have on The Young and the Restless, Cain knows time is running out. He may ask Carter for help to cover things up or make the scene look different before Chance finds out what really happened. Cain is in panic mode and may try to get Phyllis to stay quiet or even run away. He's clearly afraid of being blamed, even if he didn't do it. Whether he's innocent or hiding something, his next move can either protect him or get him into even more trouble. Nick on The Young and the Restless can tell that things are getting worse fast. As soon as he notices Phyllis acting strangely and feels the rising tension, he realizes how serious the situation is. He tries to figure out a way to get himself and his loved ones out of there, worried that more trouble is brewing. But with Chance's investigation underway, no one is allowed to leave. Even though Nick wants to escape, he may have no choice but to stay and deal with whatever happens next. On The Young and the Restless, Chance takes charge of the crime scene and starts a full investigation. He questions everyone one by one, trying to figure out who's telling the truth. With everyone stuck on the train, the pressure keeps building. As secrets come out and suspicions grow, Chance's efforts can either solve the case or make things even worse. Many notable Y&R names were missing from this year's Daytime Emmy nominations. The Young and the Restless dominated the 2025 Daytime Emmy nominations with 19 nods. Many of the show's top stars, including Peter Bergman, Sharon Case, and Eileen Davidson, earned acting nods. However, many notable names were missing from this year's list. The biggest name missing from this year's nominees is Melody Thomas Scott. The actress put on her best work as Nikki struggled with her sobriety and being stalked by Jordan. After being snubbed last year, many fans thought she'd be a shoo-in to receive a lead actress nomination. But just like last year, Scott wasn't shown any Emmy love. Zank has been phenomenal as the menacing Jordan on Y&R. Whether she was tormenting Nikki, gaslighting Claire, or teaming with Ian, Zank was a delight to watch. Zank was snubbed for a guest performer Emmy nomination in last year. 2025 seemed to be her year. But unfortunately, Zank won't be competing for the gold. Past Emmy winner Ray Wise won't be winning another guest performer trophy this year. The actor made his shocking return as everyone's favorite cult leader, Ian Ward. Wise brought that spark of excitement and wickedness that Y&R needed. While his performances were entertaining as always, it wasn't enough to earn him an Emmy nod. Y&R fans feel that the character of Claire has become tedious. But in 2024, the character was at the pinnacle of her story arc. Erin gave an emotional performance as a young woman tormented by years of her aunt's manipulations. Claire found herself conflicted as she was forced to choose between her new family or the aunt who raised her. Although Erin wowed the audience with her gripping portrayal of Claire, it failed to garner her a supporting actress nomination. Amelia Heinle was an important player in the Jordan and Claire storyline. Victoria's world was turned upside down upon learning that Claire was her and Cole's presumed dead daughter Eve. Victoria coming to grips with the truth and deciding whether to let daughter into her life was a compelling story. Like everyone else in the story arc, Heinle was phenomenal, but was snubbed.